Bismillah wa salatu wa salam ala Rasulillah, brothers and sisters, respected elders, guests, friends, everyone. I'm your brother in Islam, Jalal ibn Sa'id, and I bid you the greeting of believers, the greeting of the Anbiya of Allah Azza wa Jal. Bismillah wa salatu wa salam ala Rasulillah, brothers and sisters, respected elders, guests, friends, everyone. I'm your brother in Islam. Afwan. I bid you the greeting of believers, the greeting of the Anbiya of Allah Azza wa Jal, the greeting of Malaika, the greeting from Al Jannah. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Welcome to our third episode with our beloved course with Sheikh Salim Al Amry on the topic of Aqidah, our understanding of Tawheed. Incredible lessons so far. We've had two sessions which are available for you to watch for again and again and share with your friends and family. You can watch the previous two episodes, and it is every Saturday morning at 10 a.m. The beauty of this course is we're going to carry on for many weeks, but you can go back, you can watch it again and again. And it is important for people not to think, oh, I already saw it. No, you need to watch again and again. You miss things. You can check your notes and make sure there are bits you didn't understand, and you can prepare questions for next session. So every Saturday morning, 10 a.m. with Sheikh Salim Al Amry, all the way from Abu Dhabi. Allah Azza wa Jal has blessed us with the ability of technology and with the Sheikh making time for us and giving us this honor to sit with him and learn from him. My brothers and sisters, I can't stress this enough, or I can't encourage you guys enough to please don't watch individually. Bring the kids and family to the living room, put it on the big screen with notebooks and pens, and discuss while you're watching. While you're watching, get the tea, get the breakfast, get what you want, and enjoy the show. Enjoy the reminders, the points made, and write notes together as a family. Let this be the one thing you guys do together, not just going to a movie or to dinner or whatever it is most families are so busy doing. Do this together. Don't let people go into different parts of the house. It's a massive battle with devices. It's a massive battle of family fragmentation because of social media or the device in their hand or whatever fatana you may have. My brothers and sisters, have the family together and then share your experiences. We'd love your feedback. At the end of every session, I would love for you to just write a few points on what you benefited from, what were your favorite bits, what were the parts you didn't understand, or what were the things that confused you. Any kind of feedback at all is very much welcome. On YouTube, please click thumbs up right now. That's going to help us a lot. Click subscribe if you're not already subscribed. And if you know anyone, or if you've just recently joined through a link, you need to register for the course so we can send you the PDF and the materials on the link. So do register by going to alfitrah.com and join our classroom, inshallah. Without further ado, Sheikh Salim's with us now. Sheikh, Jazakum Allah khair for joining us again. Allah preserve you. May Allah Azza wa Jal reward you. We love you for His sake. Inshallah. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullah.
وعليكم السلام ورحمة الله وبركاته. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. إن الحمد لله نحمده ونستعينه ونستغفره ونعوذ بالله من شرور أنفسنا ومن سيئات أعمالنا. إنه من يهده الله فلا مضل له ومن يضلل فلا هادي له. وأشهد أن لا إله إلا الله وحده لا شريك له. وأشهد أن محمدا عبده ورسوله. أما بعد فإن أصدق الحديث كتاب الله تعالى، وخير الهدي هدي محمد صلى الله عليه وآله وسلم، وشر الأمور محدثاتها، وكل محدثة بدعة، وكل بدعة ضلالة، وكل ضلالة في النار. أما بعد. My dear brothers and sisters in Islam, every Saturday we are going through the book القول المفيد في أدلة التوحيد by Sheikh Muhammad bin Abdullah al-Wasabi rahimahullah ta'ala. And we are still in the first point. Those who have the book, maybe they are wondering, where have we reached? We are still in the beginning. still elaborating about La ilaha illallah. Yes, because the whole deen is La ilaha illallah. The whole Meccan period was about La ilaha illallah. Prophet ﷺ spent all the Meccan period, all those years, instilling La ilaha illallah in the hearts of the Muslims and calling others to it. Inshallah, by now, every one of you knows the meaning of La ilaha illallah. It's not an observer, he knows that it means I worship only Allah. La ma'buda. I want you to memorize it in Arabic. La ma'buda bihaqqin illallah. There is no deity worthy of worship except Allah. All other objects of worship are false, and you have to disbelieve in them. If you don't disbelieve in these false objects that are worshipped, then your shahada is invalid. You are not a Muslim yet. To become a Muslim, you have to disbelieve in all these false deities. That's why the importance of the negation in the kalima. La ilaha. Ashhadu, I testify, I bear witness that there is no deity worthy of worship. You declare it internally and externally. You verbalize it, you express it verbally, and you believe it internally in your heart. That the one I should worship is only Allah. And you disbelieve in these false objects, which is Tawheed, called Tawheed. Anything worshipped besides Allah, it is called Tawheed. And you know now the meaning of this La in La ilaha illallah, which is La un-nafiyah al-jins, the negating La, which negates the genus, negates all types of Tawheed, all types of false objects. Now, what is the meaning of Tawheed? The meaning of the Tawheed, if you check it in the dictionary, you have to go to the root Tagha Yatra. Normally in Arabic, when you want to check for any word, we go to the root of the word. So when you go to the root, you go to Tagha. So Tawheed, it is from the Tughyan. It is from crossing the limits. Because if you take any object and deify it and start worshipping it, you cross the limit. That is trespassing the limits, turning something created into something, claiming that this is your God or this is your deity that you worship. So the ulama, the scholars of the language, they explain this word about one of the meanings that the soothsayer, the diviner, is a Tawheed. Why? Because he claims knowledge of the unseen, soothsayers, palmists, diviners. So anyone who claims that he has knowledge of the unseen is a Tawheed. Because the unseen, the knowledge about the unseen, the ghaib, belongs exclusively to Allah. No one knows the unseen. That's why Islam prohibited Muslims from visiting soothsayers, diviners, palmists, or reading horoscopes or believing the horoscopes, because all this is shirk. And no one knows the unseen. And the knowledge which the soothsayer or the diviner gives about things that will happen, the Prophet ﷺ explained to us that this knowledge is actually heard by the jinn. They climb and they hear the malaika talking about it. Because whenever Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala decrees a matter, he speaks about it, he talks about it. And the moment Allah talks and speaks, all the angels in heaven become unconscious. They lose consciousness. And the first one to recover is Jibreel alayhi salam. And Allah would inform him about what he decreed. Allah decreed that there's going to be an earthquake on this date. Allah decreed there was going to be war, etc. Jibreel alayhi salam would pass this piece of information to the rest of the angels in all the different heavens, 7 firmaments. Till this information reaches the inhabitants of the first heaven, which is very close to us. The eavesdroppers, the jinn, are listening. So they hear the malaika telling each other, on this date, this is what is going to happen. And the Prophet ﷺ, he described how the jinn climb one on top of the other. Allah has protected the 7 heavens by the shooting stars. So now imagine the jinns one on top of the other. So the first one who heard it is afraid because he is seeing the shooting star tracing him. So he passes it quickly to the one next below him. So the information even does not reach down as was heard, because everyone passes it quickly. Yet, this information is correct. And the one shaitan down the ladder, he gives it to this human person, the soothsayer, who deals with the jinn. And the Prophet ﷺ said, and this soothsayer mixes with that truth 99 lies. And the people recall only the truth, the one truth, and forget the 99 lies he told them. The soothsayer said, this will happen, this will happen, this will happen, this will happen. Nothing happened. Only that one. And the people, they ignored the 99 lies. And they say, wow, this guy, he has the power. And he told us on this day, this is what will happen. And that piece of information is heard by the jinn. He heard the angels talking about it. So anyone claims the knowledge of the unseen is a Tawheed. Anyone claims that he knows your future and he can tell you about your future is a taghut. No one knows about your future. Anyone who will say, okay, you see these lines in your hand, this means this, means this. Oh, nonsense. Islam, my dear brothers and sisters, came to liberate our minds, the human minds, hearts, from all these superstitions. So the soothsayer is a taghut. So you should not believe in anyone who claims the knowledge of the unseen. And the Prophet ﷺ prohibited the Muslims from visiting those guys, charlatans. Don't go to them. If you go to them and believe them, you become a kafir. And you just went to them and asking them without believing, 40 days your prayers will not be accepted. If you read the horoscopes in the newspaper, your prayers will not be accepted. If you believe in them, then you are not a Muslim. You have to be careful. So at-taghut, different categories. One of them is the soothsayer. Second, shaitan, the head of the Tawheed. The head of taghut, their head is shaitan. And every leader of misguidance. Any leader of misguidance is a taghut. Fir'aun is a taghut. Haman is a taghut. Ubay ibn Khalaf is a taghut. Abu Jahl is a taghut. So every leader of misguidance is a taghut. This is mentioned by Imam Razi rahimahullah ta'ala and Mukhtasar al-Sihah. Ibn Mandur, these are compilers and writers of lexicons, dictionaries. Ibn Mandur is the compiler of Lisan al-Arab, the biggest dictionary. There are many dictionaries, lexicons. Lisan al-Arab, Taj al-Aruz, by Zabidi, Mukhtasar al-Sihah, Qamus al-Muhit. There are many lexicons. And each one has its own unique features. So this Lisan al-Arab is a massive encyclopedia. So Ibn Mandur said, because without knowing Arabic, you will not understand the deen. So that's why those scholars, they took upon themselves to write the language of the Arabs and the vocabularies and the etymology of each word. They trace it to its root. So now, when you want to know what's the meaning of this word, you just pick that dictionary and start searching. So any students of knowledge, when you visit you see his library, you'll see there must be at least one dictionary in Arabic. Because he doesn't know Arabic, and the Arabic language is so vast. The Prophet ﷺ said, no one can comprehend the Arabic tongue except a prophet. No one. The Arabic language is so rich. No language like it at all. So Ibn Mandur said, at-taghut, whatever is worshipped besides Allah. Anything that is worshipped besides Allah, that is Tawheed. Because it is a false object. And by taking that object and attribute to it a sort of divinity or holiness, so you deify this object. By doing that, you cross the limit, you go to extreme, then you have committed Tawheed, passing the limit. So it is Tawheed. So whatever is worshipped besides Allah is Tawheed. And every leader of misguidance is also Tawheed. This is Lisan al-Arab. Imam al-Sha'bi and Ata bin Abi Rabah and Mujahid all said, and by the way, I think in one of the talks I misquoted. I said the one who was asked, how did you get this amount of knowledge? And he said, by a patience like that of the donkey and early rise, like the rise of the crow, etc. And I attributed, I think, to Imam Sufyan, it was a Sha'bi. Anyway, it was a slip. So Al-Sha'bi, rahimahullah, and Ata, and Mujahid all said, the sorcerer, which means the magician, is a Tawheed. A magician is a Tawheed because he claims that he knows the unseen and he knows the knowledge of the unseen, and he can tell you about many things when in reality he doesn't know. He only deals with the jinn. And he performs many tricks using the jinn. So he's a Tawheed. Shaitan is a Tawheed. The soothsayer and every head of misguiders, again, they are saying the same thing. That is what Imam Sha'bi, Ata, and Mujahid said. Imam Malik, rahimahullah ta'ala, explained. Imam Malik died 179 Hijri. He said, everything that is worshipped besides Allah is Tawheed. Everything that is worshipped besides Allah is Tawheed. As reported by Ibn Abi Hatim, rahimahullah. Ibn al-Jawzi, rahimahullah, said in Zad al-Masir, he said, as for a Tawheed, again, he's saying, this terminology is taken from the Tughyan, is derived from Tughyan, Tagha yatgha, Tughyana. So it is derived from that root, from the verb and noun Tughyan, masdar. So he's saying it is derivative noun, it is derived from Tughyan, and it is to go beyond the set limits. Allah set limits. So to go beyond that, that is the Tawheed. Sheikh al-Islam Ibn Taymiyyah, rahimahullah, who died 728 Hijri, said, it is a generic term, general term, into which covers various meanings. The shaitan falls under this category. The idols fall under such category because they are false objects. So taking these idols and worship them, you cross the limits, you commit tughyan, you trespass the limits set by Allah. So that was Tawheed. I hope the brothers and sisters are taking notes, because you should know the meaning of Tawheed and disbelieve in the Tawheed. Not that you worship the Tawheed. Soothsayers, Tawheed. Dirham, the dinar. Ibn Taymiyyah is saying the dirham becomes Tawheed. The pound becomes a Tawheed. The dollar becomes a Tawheed. Money becomes your God. You are worshipping it. So there are many worshippers of money. Many worshippers. That's why the Prophet ﷺ said, Ta'isa Abd al-Dirham. That's Abd al-Qatifa. That's Abd al-Khamisa. That's Abd al-Dirham. That's Abd al-Dinar. Woe to him, the worship of the dirham, the worship of the dinar. Ta'isa wa intakas. Woe to him. And may he will relapse. If he falls sick, he will never recover. He will relapse and relapse and relapse. And may he, if he's pierced by a stone, that stone would remain in his body forever. It will not come out. This is a dua the Prophet ﷺ made for the one who worships the dirham, worships the dinar. And many from among the Muslims are worshipping dirhams and dinar, irrespective of the source, whether it is halal or haram. So their gains are illicit gains, smuggling drugs, or involved in haram activities, selling alcohol, selling pork. You enter his shop and you see Quranic ayah, هذا من فضل ربي, this is from the bounty of my Lord. Another one next to it, لَإِن شَكَرْتُمْ وَلَإِن شَكَرْتُمْ لَأَزِيدَنَّكُمْ. If you thank me, I will give you more. And you see, he is selling all different types of liquor. And if you ask him, what is this? He tells you, it's not for the Muslims. He says, I'm selling it for the non-Muslims. And one of the madhabs says that a Muslim can do that if he is not in the land of Islam. So I'm following that. So he's following his hawa. This will not make it halal. Not every fatwa of any human being is correct. Don't think that with the Sheikh gave you fatwa, that will make it halal for you. No. It will remain haram. It will remain haram. And the Prophet ﷺ said, anything that Allah prohibited selling, then whatever comes from that is haram. If Allah prohibited something, then he prohibited its price, its value. He prohibited to us to eat the flesh of the swine, then selling it and making business is haram. Illicit gain. That's why he prohibited the money that comes through prostitution, because Allah prohibited something. So whatever comes through that source, through that thing which is prohibited, is haram. Or he's selling porno magazines, and he's a Muslim. So he's a worshipper of the dirham and the dinar. So that is his God. one of the du'ah, rahimahullah ta'ala, he was in America and he was talking to an American guy. And this guy told him, listen to me, the only deity I know is the dollar. This bill, that is my God. Subhanallah. True. True. That's what the Prophet ﷺ said. So the dirham, the dinar, becomes your deity, you worship. Another Tawheed. And then Sheikh al-Islam said, and other than that. In Majmu' al-Fatawa, volume 16, page 565 onwards. Sheikh ibn Uthaymeen rahimahullah said, Ibn al-Qayyim rahimahullah has compiled and gathered what has been said regarding it, the Tawheed. And then he quotes what Ibn al-Qayyim said. He said, Ibn al-Qayyim rahimahullah, that which is exceeded by the servant beyond its limit, whether it be with respect to following or worship or obedience, unquote. Now let us reflect on what Imam al-Qayyim said. He said, anything which is exceeded by the servant, that means I cross the limit by taking this object or this thing and start deifying it and attributing to it attributes that are not, they don't belong to that object, or he doesn't deserve such attributes. Whether it be with respect, out of respect, I go to the extreme out of veneration. Then I take that thing and make it Tawheed. Because I crossed the limit. I went to extreme. Or following, blind following, like the people of Fir'aun. When he told them, I am your Lord, they said, we hear and obey. So he became a Tawheed and they worshipped him. Because if you follow a person who attributed to himself things that he doesn't deserve, and you accepted that, and you crossed the limit by accepting such things, then that thing that you accepted becomes Tawheed. Accepted Fir'aun, so Fir'aun becomes your God, and that is your Tawheed. Or worship, if you are worshipping this idol. Or obey, blind obedience. Whatever he tells you, you accept. Then that becomes a Tawheed. The Tawheed, according to Sheikh Muhammad ibn Abdul Wahhab, rahimahullah ta'ala, this Sheikh Muhammad ibn Abdul Wahhab, and alhamdulillah, I'm now giving classes other days in the three fundamentals, Usul al-Thalatha, Masail al-Arba'a. So if you have time, my dear brothers and sisters, try to attend. You will benefit, inshallah. Imam Muhammad rahimahullah is a reformer, scholars of Islam, he's a mujaddid. He called to the Kitab and Sunnah, invited the people to worship only Allah He fought polytheism. He fought heresies. He did not come with the fifth madhab. He was Hanbali. So what you hear about him are all lies. So if you want to know about the Sheikh, rahimahullah, read his works. Read his books. So he said, rahimahullah ta'ala, the Tawheed or Tawheed, the plural form of Tawheed, Tawheed. So the Tawheed or Tawheeds, if you want to anglicize it, are many. There are so many. And their heads are five. So the Sheikh, rahimahullah, is teaching us that there are so many. And there are five heads of them, five main categories. The first one is Iblis. And no doubt, Iblis. And by the way, the meaning of Iblis from ablasa, which means despair. So because he despaired of Allah's mercy, he is called Iblis. So Iblis, who is the head of the jinn, father of them, Iblis was never one of the malaika or the chief of the angels, no. So he's from the jinn. Father, our father, Adam is father of humanity, Iblis is their father. So Iblis, may Allah's curse be upon him. This one who's arrogant, who refused to worship Allah, who refused to obey Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, who rejected Allah's commandment and Allah's command when it was issued to the malaika to prostrate before Adam. The malaika did, and he refused out of arrogance. And he argued with Allah, I am better than him. You created me from the fire and you created him from the clay. So he is rejecting what Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala said. So that's why Allah cursed him. And he challenged that he will mislead the children of Adam. And he will spare no effort in misleading them. He will come from before them, behind them, from the right, from the left. And he could not mention from above and below. From above is Allah, below what he refused to do, to prostrate. So Iblis is the head, and who is working 24/7 to mislead the children of Adam. And Allah warned us many times against this open enemy. إن الشيطان لكم عدوا فاتخذوه عدوا. So Shaitan is adu for you. So take him as an enemy. He's an open enemy. الشيطان لكم عدوا فاتخذوه عدوا. So Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is warning the children of Adam from this open enemy. Because his enmity is there. And he would not leave you. He is with you from the moment you enter into this world until you leave it. So no wonder he is number one. Allah's curse be upon him. The second one, the one who is worshipped and he is pleased with that. This is very important. Not anyone who is worshipped is a taghut. Isa alayhi salam is worshipped. Is Isa Taghut? No. Because he is not pleased with it. But if you are worshipped and you are pleased with it and happy with it, then you are a Taghut. Like Fir'aun, like Nimrud. So whoever is worshipped and he is approving of that, he approved of it, and he's happy with it and pleased with it, then he is a Taghut. But if he's not, like for example, many of the awliya of Allah, people are worshipping them. Are they Taghuts? No. Because they didn't approve of this. And they are not aware of what the people are doing. That's why in the day of resurrection, they will tell you, go, forsake me. You worshipped me. You called me. I don't know you. When Isa, Allah asked him, oh Jesus, son of Mary, did you tell the people to take you, to worship you besides me? He said, glory be to you. What I have told them is what you told me. You know what is in myself, and I don't know what is in yourself. So those who deviated from the message of Isa alayhi salam, on the day of resurrection, Isa will say to them, go, I don't know you. That's why when he descends and comes again, you know what he does? The first thing he does, ليوشكن أن ينزل فيكم ابن مريم حكما عدلا فيقتل الخنزير ويكسر الصليب. That's what Isa does when he comes back. And we Muslims believe that Jesus Christ will come back, Isa alayhi salam. He will descend in Damascus, Fajr time, carried by angels. Drops of pearls are falling off his face, like the pearls. And he would pray the Fajr behind the Mahdi, alayhi salam. And then they heard when the news comes that the Antichrist is around. So Isa alayhi salam chases the Antichrist, the Dajjal, and he kills the Dajjal with the spear at the Lud in Palestine. And he comes and shows the blood on the head of the spear. So Isa, he did not approve that people worship him. So this is the key word in the definition. The one who's worshipped and he is pleased with that. He's pleased with that. The third one, the one who claims anything from knowledge of the unseen. Anyone who claims knowledge from the unseen is a Taghut. Soothsayers, diviners, fortune tellers, palmists, whoever. Because the knowledge of the unseen belongs exclusively to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. So anyone claims anything from the knowledge of the unseen, he is a Taghut. The fourth category, the one who calls people to worship him, like Fir'aun. فحشر فنادى فقال أنا ربكم الأعلى. So he gathered the nation and addressed them. أنا ربكم الأعلى. I am your supreme, the most high Lord. أنا ربكم الأعلى. This who's claimed that, Allah drowned him. Okay? You supreme Lord, we'll see. Idiot. You see the sea splitting and you follow them? He didn't stop to reflect, but he was intoxicated by his arrogance. So Allah drowned him. And Jibreel alayhi salam was stuffing his mouth with the mud from the seabed. Because Jibreel was afraid that he might say La ilaha illallah. So he was stuffing Fir'aun's tummy through his mouth, taking the mud from the seabed, stuffing his mouth. And he refused to say it, as you know. So the one who calls people to worship him, see the arrogance of a human being. See how Shaitan pulls one's leg. Until you reach that, you say, I am now entitled for worship, to worship me. How can you be God? After eating, you need to go to the toilet. You need to respond to the call of nature. You're God? That weak? And then you claim that you are God? This is what happens to the human beings. Fir'aun, Namrud. The Namrud. Ibrahim alayhi salam is arguing with him, calling him to worship Allah. But he was arrogant, stubborn. So he's asking, what does your Rabb does? What does he do? He said, my Lord gives life and death. He said, I give life and death. You see the arrogance. You see those two prisoners? One of them had set him free. I give him life, you see? And those blind fellows clapping. Bravo! Yes, yes, yes. But he didn't give life. The man is life. He just released them. To give life, to bring someone who is dead into life. That is giving life. And this one, the other one, I will kill him. So give life and death. Ibrahim alayhi salam, he realized this idiot, the stupidity of this idiot. He told him, no. إن الله يأتي بالشمس من المشرق تأتي بها من المغرب فبهت الذي كفر. Said, my Lord, Allah brings the sun from the east. So bring it, please, from the west. You can, right? Bring it from the west. فبهت الذي كفر. The one who disbelieved failed miserably. So this one who is saying that I give life and death, I hope anyone like them to deduce lessons and to come back to his senses, to learn from history and those who passed away. Allah did not mention the stories for the entertainment, but to deduce lessons. So this Namrud, what happened to him? Allah sent a small mosquito, went through his nostrils and settled there, and made his life miserable. It starts fluttering its wings, he goes mad. So he tells the people, hit me on my head. So when they hit him, the mosquito stops moving its wings. So this was the Namrud. Another one who caused people to worship him and cross the limits. Number 5, the one who judges, rules by other than that which Allah has revealed is also Tawheed. Allah says this is the Quran. He said, no, we will not follow what Allah said. We will take it away, replace it with man-made law. The law of Allah will take it and remove it. Substitute it with man-made law. Here's a Tawheed. Because you are substituting and removing and replacing the law of Allah and substitute it with man-made law. Something which is the best, has no defects, addresses people's issues, providing solutions, creates and causes peace and security and stability among the people of the community, resolves class conflict, all these things in the revelation. You remove this and you replace it with something made by a human being who's limited, who is biased. Do you think a human being, when they sit together to write a constitution, law, they will write a law against themselves, or they will take their own interests into consideration and keep some clauses so vague that they can't be interpreted, as if there is a back exit, back door, in case, just in case, something he's caught red-handed, he can utilize that vague clause. That's why those professional lawyers, they know these loopholes, because man-made law is full of holes, loopholes, full. The Constitution started one volume and started growing, revising the Constitution, amendment number this, amendment number that, growing. Why? Because man is limited. So those who wrote that Constitution, they took the problems of their time and they tried there to provide solution for the problems of their time. They didn't know what will happen in the future. Things have changed. So the Constitution needs to be revisited and amended. But Allah's law cannot be amended because Allah knows everything. أَلَا يَعْلَمُ مَنْ خَلَقَ وَهُوَ اللَّطِيفُ الْخَبِيرُ. Allah knows what suits us. He's our creator. So the Islamic law, the Sharia, addresses all the issues of mankind. Addresses the issues of mankind. So the one who judges by other than that which Allah has revealed is a Tawheed. So these are the different categories of the Tawheed. And that is condition number 1 of La ilaha illallah. I hope that you recall the conditions of La ilaha illallah. العلم واليقين والقبول والانقياد فادر ما أقول والصدق والإخلاص والمحبة وفقك الله لما أحبه العلم واليقين والقبول والانقياد فادر ما أقول والصدق والإخلاص والمحبة وفقك الله لما أحبه. These are the conditions of La ilaha illallah. Al-ilm. And we just now finished that condition. Al-ilm. Second condition. Al-yaqeen. Al-yaqeen. Certainty. Yaqeen. The yaqeen derives from yaqana al-ma'u. Yaqana al-ma'. What does it mean? Yaqana al-ma'u. When you see the water in the pool or the pond, and it no ripples, no waves, just like glass, no movement at all, no waves, no ripples. Yaqana al-ma'u is calm, constant, no disturbance. So the yaqeen, it is that condition in your heart. No doubts, no disturbance, firmness. Nothing shakes you. Nothing shakes your iman. You have yaqeen. Remember, aqidah, something tied in the heart. So now that thing which is in your heart, it is so calm, so stable. No movement, no disturbance, no doubts. Yaqeen, surety, certainty. Though these words cannot convey the meaning of yaqeen. And that's what settled in the hearts of the Sahaba. Yaqeen. Yaqeen. You read of Sahih Imam Bukhari. Anas ibn Nadr, on the day of Uhud, when the shaitan screamed and said Muhammad died, and many of the Sahaba dropped their swords. And when he saw the Muslim did that, he turned to Allah and asked Allah to forgive them. And him say, I am innocent of what they have done, because they disobeyed the actions, the commandments of the Prophet ﷺ. And he took his sword, because when he saw Sahaba dropped their swords and sitting, he said, what are you doing? Said the Prophet God. He said, okay, so what is the use and what is the value? What is the benefit of you to live after him? Get up and die. Fight and die. He picked up his sword and he headed to the enemies. He met Sa'd. Said, oh Sa'd, come. إني أشم رائحة الجنة دون أحد. إني أشم رائحة الجنة دون أحد. I smell it. I smell the Jannah, O Sa'ad. Come. This is the Iman of the Sahaba. This is the yaqeen. He's smelling the Jannah. And the other Sahabi was stabbed by the spear and came from the back through his tummy. And he collected the blood in his hand and he said, Fuztu Rabbil Kaaba. Fuztu Rabbil Kaaba. I won by the Lord of the Kaaba. I won. This is the yaqeen. Another Sahabi, before the battle starts, he asked the Prophet ﷺ, "Oh Prophet," and he was eating handful of dates. He said, "Oh Prophet of Allah, what is between me and the Jannah?" He said, what you have in your hand. This is what stops you from entering the Jannah. What you have in your hand, the dates you are eating. He dropped the dates and said, "It's a long life if I to finish them. Long life." No. He threw the dates, headed, and he was martyred. This is what La ilaha illallah did. It's not a lip service, my dear brothers and sisters. That's what the La ilaha illallah did to the Sahaba. Because it really drilled down in their hearts. And they actualized it. The yaqeen. They had no doubt at all. No rebels, no disturbance, no ups and downs. The Prophet said, finish. No argument. He is Rasulullah. He is Rasulullah. That's it. Whatever he tells us, I have no doubt. So the second condition, my dear brothers and sisters, is al-yaqeen. Prophet ﷺ, his daughter runs to him, Fatima. He was entering the haram, crying to him, "Oh my father, I heard the elders of Quraysh saying that the moment you enter the haram, they would get up and beat you." He said, "My daughter, give me my wudu." He performed the ablution and he headed. He went to the circle and no one could stand up and all dropped their heads down. He said, "They can't do nothing." In the beginning, the Prophet ﷺ used to have guards to protect him. So when Allah told him, "Wallahu ya'simuka minan nas," and Allah protects you from mankind, from the evil of men, he told the guards, "Leave me. Allah is protecting me." One German journalist, I read, he became Muslim because of this. He said, any human being can cheat anyone, but not himself. No one asked him to set free the guards and to expose himself to the risk. No one asked him. So why did he do that? But because he's a prophet and he believes in what Allah said. So when his Lord told him, "I protect you," he said, "Leave me. Leave me." So this is the yaqeen. إنما المؤمنون الذين آمنوا بالله ورسوله ثم لم يرتابوا وجاهدوا بأموالهم وأنفسهم في سبيل الله أولئك هم الصادقون. الحجرات آية 15. Only those are the believers. Who are they? Who believed in Allah and His Messenger. And afterwards, Afterward, doubt not, but strive with their wealth and their lives for the cause of Allah. Those they are the truthful. ثم لم يرتابوا إنما المؤمنون, verily the true mu'mineen, believers, are those who believe in Allah and His Messenger, and after that they doubt not. Yet you find some Muslims, they doubt. Are they Muslims? No. They're not. Why? Because the condition is not fulfilled. So La ilaha illallah, the condition is not fulfilled. Because they have doubts. So they are not mu'mineen. So La ilaha illallah, which they utter, is not the correct one. It's not valid. Because conditions are not met. Because they doubt. How many Muslims do they doubt that they be nowadays? And they think they are still within the fold of Islam. ثم لم يرتابوا. Doubt. You have doubt, then the condition of La ilaha illallah is not fulfilled. وجاهدوا بأموالهم, and they strive في سبيل الله by spending. بأموالهم وأنفسهم. And Allah mentions here the money first before giving your life, because sometimes the wealth is dear to you than your own life. وجاهدوا بأموالهم. So spending في سبيل الله is a form of jihad. And participating yourself is also a form of jihad. وجاهدوا بأموالهم وأنفسهم في سبيل الله, for Allah's cause. Then Allah says, أولئك هم الصادقون. They are the truthful. Those are the truthful who believe in Allah, believe in His Messenger, no doubt, strive and spend fi sabilillah, participate in the jihad fi sabilillah. Such, if these conditions are there, those are the true mu'min, the true sadiq, the truthful. So this is the second condition, my dear brothers and sisters, the yaqeen. Yaqeen should free your heart from any doubt. And how can I remove such doubt? By the ilm, seeking the knowledge. Only the knowledge will dissipate the doubts. The knowledge dissipates the ignorance, the jahl. So learn your Islam. Give time for the deen. Organize, strike the balance, and make time on a daily basis. This number of hours, I am learning my deen. Have a study circle at home. Study circles. Muslims in the past, that was the norm in their lives. Study circles at home. Family, they get together, reading the Quran together, reading the hadith of the Prophet ﷺ together on a daily basis. And this is my advice for all families. Get your family on a daily basis. half an hour, less than that. Agree among yourselves. But be consistent and constant. So that let the light, let your house becomes now beacon of light, of hidayah. Illuminate it. Because the house in which its inhabitants mention Allah and glorify Allah, the inhabitants in heavens, they see this house is shining. They see it shining. So start. Get Riyadh al-Salihin, this beautiful book by Imam Nawawi. I beg every Muslim, the head of every Muslim household, buy this small book by Imam Nawawi. And every day you and your family sit and ask any one of the children to read. One hadith, two hadith, three hadith. And you will see the impact in your life. Now the houses of Muslims, or many, they are full of shayateen. Don't you know the house that has pictures, the Malaikat al-Rahmah, or dog, Malaikat al-Rahmah, they don't enter that house. The angels of mercy, they don't enter that house. The angels of mercy. This house has a dog inside, or statues, or whatever. So they don't come. So the angels of mercy, Malaikat al-Rahmah, are not entering your house. Who replaces them? The shayateen. Shayateen. So which one do you prefer? To have angels of mercy praying for you, or shayateen? So start this halaqah. See when it is convenient during the day, after dinner or whatever. 20 minutes, half an hour, sit, all of you. Gather them. Because now, what is happening now? What is happening inside the Muslim homes? Everyone is in his room with his device. You don't see them. They don't get together for the meal. Everyone eats at his own time. And even if they are sitting, they don't talk. What happened? What is this life? You don't see your children. Everyone is in his own world. You want them to come out? Switch off the internet. They will come out like the rats from their holes. What happened? What happened? This is what's happening. So please, my dear brothers and sisters, if we want to have this yaqeen, we need to revive our iman. We need to have these study circles in our homes. Everyone, inshallah, who hears me, we will get a copy of Riyadh al-Salihin and we will start this circle, inshallah. You know that when the Muslims ruled Spain, and they were invited actually by the Spaniards to come to them, to liberate them from the oppression of their brothers. But then the Muslims started deviating from the message. So Allah punished them. And the Spaniards drove them out of Spain. one of researchers, he said, the one who contributed in the collapse of the Muslims in Spain is Ziryab, the musician Ziryab, who came from Baghdad and opened his own academy in Spain, teaching music. Before you pass by the Muslim home, you hear the recitation of the Quran, like the beehive, humming. But now you hear music. So Ferdinand, King Ferdinand and Queen Isabella, they used to send their spies to give them reports about the situation. Is it the time? Is it the hour or not yet? The reports go back. Now what we hear, Muslims, most are full homes, women are reading Quran. They say, no, still they are with Allah. Because they know, your enemies, they know your strength. They know your strength. Your strength, if you are with Allah. The moment you are not with Allah, you are feeble and vulnerable, weak. So when the news came to the king and queen, now we hear only music and dance and all that. They said the time. And you know what happened to the Muslims. And you know the Inquisitions. And you know the massacres that happened. And the burning the books, turning the mosques. Now you go to Spain, you cry when you see the masajids became churches. The last king, ruler of Spain, when he was leaving, he was crying, weeping. His mother told him, weep, cry like the woman. He did not save this kingdom. So cry like a woman today. So bring the nur, the hidayah, the light into your homes by reading the Quran, the Book of Allah, and have a study circle and begin with the Riyadh al-Salihin. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala strengthen our iman and your iman, and may Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala strengthen our ummah. May Allah unite our hearts on the haqq. Ameen. And may Allah bring all Ummah Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam to the state where Ameen. And may Allah increase our knowledge and your knowledge, and may Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala forgive us our faults and mistakes and ignorance. And may Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, my dear brothers and sisters, reward you immensely for your patience and attendance. بارك الله فيكم. جزاكم الله خيرا. والسلام عليكم ورحمة الله وبركاته.
Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullah. Jazakumullah khair, Sheikh. Alaikum assalam wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. May Allah bless you and reward you. For some reason, I think my microphone stopped working, Abdurrahman. If you can have a look at that. In the meanwhile, I hope sound is okay on this other microphone. Jazakumullah khair to everyone for staying tuned in. Please click on thumbs up on the YouTube channel. Subscribe if you haven't. For those of you who are tuned in and you're not registered students, if you register, inshallah, on alfitrah.com, you will receive the PDF links. You will also receive additional information, as well as being kept up to date, and all the questions in the WhatsApp group. So you'll be added to the group, so your questions can also be presented to Sheikh Salim for answering, inshallah. Jazakumullah khair. I have a lot of homework messages. Jazakumullah khair, everyone, for your comments. Feedback, yes, thank you very much. I do welcome your feedback. What was the benefit? What were your favorite parts? Was there anything confusing? Was there anything clear? Just any feedback, inshallah, in regard to the content of the course. A quick update on the course for the new people who have tuned in. We, as Sheikh mentioned at the beginning of today's lesson, we're still in the beginning of this book. We've just are finishing covering La ilaha illallah. And it's a great time for you to still sign up with your family, tuned in with your family, sit together, as the Sheikh mentioned, inshallah. And it is Saturday mornings, 10 a.m. UK time. And the Sunday's course is on matters of the heart. That is at 2 p.m. on Sundays UK time, inshallah. Sheikh, the first question is, who is Isra, which the Jews take as the son of God?
I think Ezra is Ezra also in Arabic. And Banu Israel, they have many, many prophets. Many prophets. And they killed many of them. They killed their own prophets. And having many prophets is not a merit, but it is only proves that such problem is so wide, and it is incurable. So you have to have many doctors. So that's why they had many prophets. So he's one of the prophets of Bani Israel, alayhi salam. And they said he is son of God. وقالت اليهود عزير ابن الله وقالت النصارى المسيح ابن الله. The Jews said Ezra is son of God, and the Christians said Jesus Christ son of God. Is this clear to the questioner?
Jazakumullah khair, Sheikh. Next question is, what are the rules regarding women going to eat at restaurants where there are non-mahrams also present? Is this simply based on one's intention?
And who is going to serve them? A woman or a man?
I'm assuming this is a Western culture. This is from the UK question, so I'm assuming they mean normal restaurants in the UK, which is a mixture. It could be men and it could be women serving the food.
Okay, so, and there are no places in such restaurants allocated for our segregation, nothing like that, right?
Very, very, very few places, but no, nothing like that normally, Sheikh.
Okay, so that's why. What is they can have what they say, take away, they can order, and they can get together in one's house and enjoy their meal. This is my advice for them. They want to get together, they can have the same meal, order it, delivered, and meet in a sister's house, one of them, and maybe they can make this if they are meeting monthly or something to get together. So they order the meal and they have the fun and enjoy themselves, and they can have relax and enjoy themselves and have privacy, etc. I don't encourage them to go to restaurants. Okay, this is my advice for them. Next question, please.
Sheikh, can I just add to that? There's a culture in the West, especially with our youth. They are very challenged. They are under immense pressure, psychological pressure by TV, media, social media, movies, films, music, etc. And Muslims, I think this might even be a lesson separately that is desperately required, and it is that most Muslims don't realize how much they are influenced, that they absolutely have to imitate the culture of the kuffar. They see the culture and they have to. So it's all about the whining and dining, isn't it? That's where this question comes from. And there's so much of the Muslim entertainment in the UK and in Europe and in the West that is imitating that lifestyle, the whining, the dining, obviously without the wine, but it's just the whole imitation game. That because your answer is so simple, Sheikh. Order the food, eat at home, but it's not even a thought. So separate from this question, I'm saying there's a big pressure going on here that's been going on for a long time, but it's not talked about as much as it was in the 90s, perhaps. In the 90s, I remember this was a big topic, but lately it's not covered as much, and people out of sight, out of mind, they don't realize how much the influence is actually affecting them. That if I don't go out to dinner like that, if I don't get to go, I actually never got to have fun. I never actually did go out, or we don't do anything. I hear wives would tell their husbands, we don't do anything on the weekends. Why can't we do something? It's because of what they see, and they think that is the only enjoyment, Sheikh.
Well, of course, you can have fun with your family on the weekend. You can take your, make barbecue in the garden, or go to anyway on the countryside and enjoy it. Camping, and there are many ways where you can enjoy yourself. There are many halal ways. Why you want just to imitate and fulfill the prophecy when the Prophet ﷺ said, you will follow the footsteps of those who preceded you. Span by span, cubit by cubit. Even if they entered the lizard hole, you would follow them. The lizard hole. Blind imitation, blind following. What is wrong? Where is your personality? Where is your izzah? Islam teaches you to be uplifted, to have your own personality. You have your own, there should be specificity in your life, because you are a Muslim and you are a Muslim. So we don't have this free mingling. Okay? In many Muslims' weddings, free mingling, dancing, men and women. It is wedding. And everyone is telling his wife, guys, my dear brothers and sisters, because I love you, I have to be frank with you. Maybe sometimes it doesn't go easy, but you have to take it. He takes his wife and he asks her to be beautified, checked, wear the nice dress, and the other one is doing the same thing, and they are meeting. And everyone is cracking jokes, everyone is staring at the other, everyone is smiling. What is this? This is Jahiliyyah. This has nothing to do with Islam. And you call yourself a man? You don't have ghira? You don't have jealousy over your woman? Subhanallah. Don't you know such a person will not enter the Jannah because he's the youth? He doesn't have this ghira? That's why we are in this mess, my dear brothers and sisters. We need to repent. We need to turn to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Where is the submission? Where is we hear and obey? Where is it? Muslim means one who submits. Where is the submission? Where is it? And that is one of the conditions of La ilaha illallah. Where is it? Where we hear and we obey. Where is it? See, Aisha anha said, may Allah shower his mercy upon the women of the Ansar. When the ayah of hijab came, the next salah in the Fajr, they were dressed from head to toes, as if there are crows sitting on their heads. Black. Finish. No argument. We hear and we obey. Submission. Why you want to turn the dunya, which is your prison, into your Jannah? If that is the Jannah you want, fine. But remember, no Jannah there. Remember this. The Prophet ﷺ said, "Ad-dunya jannatul kafir wa sijnul mu'min." This dunya is the Jannah of the kafir, the disbeliever. And it is the prison of the believer. You want it to be Jannah? That is your choice. But you bear the consequences. Ibn Qayyim rahimahullah said there are two prisons. You have to enter one of them. If you enter the prison in the dunya, that means you live within the framework of Islam, within the limits, you will be released and enter the Jannah, inshallah, there. But if you lead free life, following your Tawheed, your dirham and dinar, and your hawa, and your whims and desire, that what is your worship, you enter the other prison, which is the hellfire. You choose. May Allah guide all the Muslims to the haqq. Next question, please.
Jazakumullah khair, Sheikh. Some feedback. Yes, in the group, please, brothers and sisters, when you ask a question and you hear the answer, write a few words. Even if you don't like the answer, just respond. Sister Samina's doing it, and it helps a lot that we know you understood, or if we need to follow it up. Another person has said, Jazakumullah khair, Sheikh, for a fantastic lecture, powerful and clear. Barakallah feekum. I have asked you guys to tell me how's the lecture happening, and I really appreciate, the Sheikh really appreciates also any feedback regarding the content. Next question is, earlier the Sheikh said a madhab may have said something is okay for someone to sell alcohol if he is living in a non-Muslim country. If something is as prohibited as alcohol, how can a madhab say it's okay regardless of where someone lives?
That's why I said it is a wrong fatwa. The fatwa is mistaken. The fatwa is incorrect. And the argument is that because this is something permissible in their deen, the kuffar, to eat the pork or drink alcohol, so you are selling what is permissible for them. But the argument is so weak, because in Islam, Allah prohibited that. So don't use, because there is this fatwa and this madhab, so you think it will make it halal for you. No. Haram will remain haram. Is this clear, please?
Jazakumullah khair, Sheikh. I hope so. If that was clear, please do respond with some feedback. Assalamu alaikum, everyone. Question for the Sheikh regarding fiqh of salah. Number one, can we follow different madhahib, i.e., raised as a Hanafi, and I find it beneficial reciting Al-Fatiha during silent rakat behind the Imam, but prefer Raf al-Yadayn from a different madhab. Is this okay?
First of all, the madahib or schools, they all follow the sunnah of the Prophet ﷺ. And each scholar, each imam, he tried his best and he built his understanding on the amount of a hadith that reached him. Some hadith did not reach this imam, reach the other imam, etc. So that's why you see these differences. And all of them said, إِذَا صَحَّ الْحَدِيثُ فَهُوَ مَذْهَبِي. If you come across an authentic hadith, follow it. That is my madhab. That is my madhab. Having said this, there is nothing wrong. As a matter of fact, it is recommended as a beginner, if you want to become a strong talib ilm, really, to study a madhab that is there in your country, whether it is Shafi'i or Hanafi or Hanbali or Maliki. You study this madhab in your country, because you need to know what we call the usul, the foundations. And you build up. So, and all the scholars in the past, including the muhaddithin, Imam Bukhari is Shafi'i, Bayhaqi is Shafi'i, Ibn Hajar al-Asqalani is Shafi'i, as beginners when they grew up. That is, they studied the madhab. So there's nothing wrong to study the madhab. But then when you develop and go up and you become advanced students of knowledge, and now you can see the evidences and the proofs, and you can see and make the comparison. Then you follow the dalil, which issue has more, its evidence is stronger than the other issue. But to start with, to study a madhab and follow the madhab in your area, there's nothing wrong with that, especially for beginners and for the layman. So, because to go to extreme and say no madhabs, no one says that. This is a sign of ignorance. Okay, how you expect a layman in the countryside? He only knows what is there in his country. He cannot even read or write, and you are asking him to follow the dalil. How can he understand the dalil? And even many of the students of Nali who are saying you have to follow the dalil, as a matter of fact, they are making taqleed to a certain extent, because they cannot understand the hadith. So they refer to the books of the ulama and how the ulama explained it. So just instead of following Shafi'i, he's following another alim. Okay? But when you reach advanced level and now you can see and weigh the proofs and the adillah, and you follow the strongest one, that is, you have now reached advanced level where you can now make this ijtihad. Is this clear to the questioner?
Jazakumullah khair, Sheikh. The next question from the same person is it okay to recite one long ayah in each rak'ah, like Ayatul Kursi? Or does it have to be at least 3 ayats? Do surahs need to be recited in chronological order also, like from Ikhlas to Nas, etc.?
Yes, you can read even one ayah, and your salah will be correct, apart, of course, from Surah Al-Fatiha. And regarding the sequence, it is preferable. It's preferable you read in sequentially, in order. It's the best. But if you read not in order, your salah is correct. Next question, please.
Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullah, Sheikh. I am a teacher in a school, and some of the students expressed concerns over using alcohol-based sanitizers that they were required to use currently due to the precautions being taken for the coronavirus. Is this allowed?
It is not only about the sanitizers, it's also about the medicines. Many of the medicines, they contain certain percentage of alcohol. And the ulama, they said, if this negligible amount, it does not affect, it does not intoxicate, talking about the percentage which is in the medicine, and we have no other choice and there is no other option, then that falls under ad-darurat tubih al-mahdurat. This is one of the principles of Sharia and Islam. Necessity dictates exception. Necessity dictates exception. So when there is a necessity and we have no other solution, there will be an exception, like eating the dead. Eating the dead animal is haram. But if you ask, going to die, and you have no means, no food except the carcass, then you eat from the carcass, from the dead animal, to save your life. You eat what will make you survive. You don't go to extreme and eat a lot. You take what will stop you from dying. And if you say this is haram and you will not take it and you die, Imam Ahmad said he killed himself. He killed himself because Allah allowed you to do so. Why you didn't eat? So now this alcohol in the sanitizers, if there are no sanitizers without alcohol, it is a necessity. Necessity falls under that. Second thing which the questioner didn't ask, is alcohol pure or impure? And this is most of the people ask about. They think alcohol is najis. That's what they think. That's why you find some of the ulama, they prohibit the perfumes that contain alcohol and say, this is najis. You cannot apply najasa to your body. But what is the truth is different. Alcohol is pure. It's not najis. Haram, yes. But it's not impure. It's pure. It's not najis. And the proof is that when Allah prohibited alcohol, the Sahaba, they brought their pots, the clay pots full of alcohol to the streets in Medina, smashing them. And there were streams of alcohol on the streets. And people are walking. And it's haram to put najasa in the way of the people. And the Prophet ﷺ did not tell them this is haram and this is impure, or how you throw impurity in the streets. So alcohol, the spirit, it is pure, though it is haram. So using the sanitizer and you have wudu and you pray, your prayer is correct because it's not najis. Is this clear to the questioner?
Please do give me feedback if it is clear for you. Any follow-up questions as well, inshallah. Sheikh, to add to that question, what about mouthwash that has alcohol in it, as well as someone has added additional question to it regarding balsamic vinegar, ingredients used in organic wine vinegars, etc. I think the first part is the mouthwash.
The mouthwash, it's not a necessity. It's not a necessity if it is having this alcohol. So avoid it. And there are mouthwash without alcohol. There are. When it comes to the vinegar, if the khamr became vinegar, and there is a rule called al-istihala, and this is very common in the Hanafi madhab, qa'idat al-istihala. If something turns into another thing different, so now the chemical properties are different. It was in stage 1 and stage 2. In stage 1, it was khamr. Now it became vinegar. Naturally, by itself it became. Not that we synthesize it. No. Then it became vinegar. It's not khamr anymore, and it is halal. Is this clear to the questioner?
Jazakumullah khair, Sheikh. I'm not sure if I should read this one, but I guess we should know. There are some scholars in Saudi who have said you can have certain types of non-alcoholic beverages, but they can have % alcohol in them. What do you say?
What I say? I have nothing to say. I say anything that has alcohol, leave it. Why you drink it? Why you drink it? Why you drink something that has alcohol? Why don't you apply the hadith of the Prophet ﷺ? دع ما يريبك إلى ما لا يريبك. Leave that which you doubt to that which you don't doubt. Why you don't follow this hadith? Why don't you follow the hadith of the Prophet ﷺ? Halal is clear, haram is clear, and there are doubtful matters in between. And whoever falls into the doubtful matters, he falls into the haram. Why don't you follow this hadith of the Prophet ﷺ? A scholar, he made ijtihad, he gave fatwa. He is either will be rewarded twice or once. But you, as the Prophet ﷺ said, consult your heart. استفتي قلبك ونفتاك الناس. You know it is wrong. You feel something. Leave it. And remember the 5 rules of the Sharia. 5 rulings. Haram, makruh, leave it. Fard, sunnah, do it. Halal is halal. simple rule, and you will save yourself a lot of headache. Is this clear to the questioner?
Jazakumullah khair, Sheikh. Could I add something to that? Chocolates that have alcohol in them, or something that has. How about spaghetti? Italian restaurants, they have a bit of wine with the sauce they cook, etc. It's not vinegar; it's actual wine. My question is, some people have different opinions on this, but my question is, anywhere that is served alcohol, anyone who bags it, anyone who bottles it, anyone who carries it, the la'anat of Allah, that long hadith that describes the khamr, would that apply and say that, well, you've taken a bit of that and poured it into that chocolate or into that food? Would we say that it is the curse of Allah we've carried over? Is it not clear that we should just stay away from it entirely?
Of course. Don't you know, my dear brothers and sisters, if you want Allah to accept your dua, you have to eat halal. So if you are eating things that are doubtful and have haram, this will harden your heart. You want your heart to be soft, eat halal. These things, you leave them, you will not die. There are other chocolates maybe they don't have. There are other foods they don't have alcohol. Why? You insist that you have to take this particular type of food. Don't you take care of your heart? Don't you want soft heart? Don't you want to, when you read the Quran, your eyes well up with tears? Don't you want Allah to accept your dua? If you want Allah to accept your dua, eat halal. If you are eating haram, your dua will not be accepted. And you all know the hadith of the Prophet ﷺ about the man who's traveling, his clothes haram, fed haram, and he's saying, oh my Lord, oh my Lord. Allah didn't accept his dua, didn't accept his supplication. Because he is eating haram, living in the haram, Allah will not accept. Is this clear to the question?
Jazakumullah khair, Sheikh. I hope so. Any follow-ups, please do send your comments. Quick reminder, Saturday mornings, yes, 10 a.m. every Saturday, this class on Aqidah, Tawheed. Please do register so you can receive the book material and everything else. And you will be added to the WhatsApp group for Q&A like now. I know some people are asking questions on YouTube. You need to join the group so that you can ask the questions with everyone else. I have to give priority to these students, inshallah. Second thing, Sundays, we have another course on Tazkiyah, Matters of the Heart. So often people pray and they're like, I can't feel enough, I don't have enough khushu, or I noticed someone asked a question. We'll get to your question. One of your questions is about forgiveness and whatnot. This is all on Sundays, inshallah, and it starts at 2 p.m. UK time. Please click on thumbs up. Many of you are watching on YouTube. SubhanAllah, you need to log into YouTube. And I've realized there's like 60, 70 people that tune in on YouTube and they're not logged in at all. So you need to log in to be able to click thumbs up and subscribe, so we know you're there, inshallah, and we can send you messages also. Lastly, the last thing I was going to say is the questions. If we don't get to all of them, we will address them. Sheikh has mentioned, Sheikh has arranged for me to text them to him. He will reply to those questions, some of the questions that we have as well, inshallah. Okay, moving on, Sheikh. The next question is, Assalamu alaikum, Sheikh. Can I make dua in sajda in the salah? Can I make dua in sajda in my own language?
In the salah, avoid any other tongue. Outside the salah, yes, you can. But in the salah, avoid any other tongue. Outside the salah, you can supplicate in your mother tongue. But in the salah, avoid it. Is this clear?
Can I make dua from the Quran in sajda? Things like Rabbana fi dunya hasana, etc.
There is nothing wrong with that because though it is Quranic ayah, but it is a dua. As a dua, no problem, inshallah.
And I think you already answered this, but just to recap, the last part of the question is, can I make dua from the Quran, but in my own language at the end before taslim, before saying salams?
Preferably you avoid any language other than the Arabic in the Salah. Okay? Because this will open the door, and that is what some people are saying, that you can conduct the Salah in your tongue. But it's not correct. That's not right. You read the Salah, make the Salah in Arabic. You want to make du'as, you can make the du'as outside the prayer, outside the Salah, in whatever mother tongue you have, your language. And Allah knows best.
This is there's one more part to this question, and it's related to imams that have told people that have told mostly Hanafis and others who pray the salah, make the salam, they finish, and then they raise their hands after every fard salah to make dua. And people often tell them that this isn't from the sunnah and that they should make dua in the salah. Can you give some guidance?
They make the dua, I mean, after the salah, collectively, you mean?
Yes, collectively and individually, after every fard salah, they have to make dua. They feel it's not complete, or they need to make dua. It's after every fard salah.
This could be in the history of it, that alim was making dua for the sake of teaching the people. And now people became just, they consider it now it is a must. When maybe in the beginning it was just for a while, as there was a need to teach them a specific dua. But now to make it a sunnah, immediately after, even before finishing the tasbih and the adhkar, Imam has to make this dua collectively. That is not sunnah. That's not sunnah of the Prophet ﷺ. Next question, please.
So just to clarify, Sheikh, individually it's fine then. Individually they can make dua after every salah if they wish.
Even that, the Prophet ﷺ, we didn't find that after each salah he's making dua. But if a person wants to make dua to supplicate for himself, inshallah there is no harm. Because the ulama, they differ about the dua, whether dubur kullu salah, is it after concluding the salah or after the tashahhud and before the salam you supplicate. And alhamdulillah, there is a leeway. Some hadith tells us that, for example, whoever reads Ayatul Kursi, dubur kullu salah, which means after concluding the salah, you read Ayatul Kursi. So if you supplicate, but you don't make it your normal habits, that every day. Whatever you want, you can say it while you are in the sujood, inshallah. And Allah knows best.
And Jazakumullah khair, Sheikh. I was actually clarifying that for many people because in sujood, they don't know the dua in Arabic and they can't make it with things they want. So they only know basics of Rabbana.
That's why if they supplicate, but they should not make it the norm. Because a practice every day, every salah, they have to supplicate, especially after the fard.
Inshallah. Jazakumullah khair. Another question is, Assalamu alaikum, Sheikh. The only mosque in my area where I can have Jummah Salah, they have graves built in front of the masjid. What should I do?
The graves inside the masjid?
It does not say inside. It could be outside. It says in front.
If the graves are not inside the masjid, and there's no other masjid, inshallah there is no harm. Maybe there is a cemetery ahead of in front of the masjid but far away, few meters away, maybe that's what the questioner meant. But if the grave inside the masjid, avoid praying in such a masjid, especially if the qabr is in front of in the qibla, in the qibla.
Jazakumullah khair. My son reads Salah very, very fast. Can I, as his mother, lead him in Salah? And if I can, where do I stand in Salah?
Try to teach him. Make it, first of all, encourage him, especially if he's a child, even if he prays fast, and little by little, and encourage him and say, you see, this is how you should pray, and try to make him like the prayer, and try to make him love the Salah, and reward him, inshallah, reward him also, to make him love the Salah, and tell him, you don't do this quickly, you don't this. But a woman to lead men, that is not the sunnah. Women cannot lead men. Okay? If the child, but he can lead his mothers. If he's like 10 years old and this, and she has to stand behind him, not next to him, behind him. As the Prophet ﷺ, when he came and he prayed, he made the boys behind him and the woman behind him. So if husband and wife are praying, he is behind him. They have a child, a boy, the boy behind his father and the mother behind the boy. Is this clear?
Jazakumullah khair. And the next question is, Sheikh, if a wife requests the attention of her husband and it constantly falls upon deaf ears and she is ignored, whether it is physical attention or even responding to phone calls, messages, etc., requests to see him, especially if they're far away, living long distance. The husband is responding to other calls, messages on his phone, but ignoring his wife and using the excuse he was too busy to text or message or call and speak to his wife or his child. Is there a consequence for this for the husband to be aware of? Is this an actual sin? And should the husband reconsider his actions and improve communication with the spouse and child? And what are the religious obligations and rulings regarding separation from one's spouse? Jazakumullah khair.
Okay. Now, he is saying he's busy and he didn't see the message or he forgot about the message. So give him the benefit of doubt. Give him the benefit of doubt. And don't take everything into heart. Okay, fine. But as the head of the family, he is responsible to ask about his family, to ask about his children, because he is the head of the household. And he's accountable before Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala to take care of his family. He is the shepherd, he is the caretaker. So he has to take care of his family. And if they're saying separation, if you mean separation, that they do not live together, okay, for a while, because of dispute among them, then that should not last for long, because both of them will be, and especially the woman, will be suffering. So either reconciliation to take place or talaq. It's better for them. Unless she doesn't mind, okay, I want to maintain this nominal marital relationship for the sake of the children. That's up to her, because that is her right. But if she feels she is suffering and he doesn't want to reconcile the relationship, he doesn't want to come back and live with them as husband and wife, then Islam provides for her that she can ask for the talaq and end this relationship. Is this clear to the questioner?
Jazakum Allah khair, Sheikh.
And maybe this is the end of today's session.
Okay, Sheikh.
Is there a question?
There are a couple of questions. I'm just going to pick one. I'll just pick one last one, inshallah, and we'll wrap up for today. I'm going to have to stop there, Sheikh, because nutmeg, I don't know what that is. I'll go ahead and ask the question. Salam alaikum. What is the authentic opinion of use of nutmeg?
What?
Nutmeg? I think I'm going to have to get clarification. We'll leave that into text, Sheikh. I don't know what that is.
Okay.
We're going to wrap it up. Sheikh Salim, I love you for the sake of Allah. It's beautiful, as always. I will keep giving you feedback. Maybe you can give us a final word of advice as well about keeping the family together and taking notes, because even mine, I keep reminding them and they keep putting their notebooks down. And Fadl, Sheikh.
My dear brothers and sisters, I really love you all. I love you for the sake of Allah. So consider me your old uncle or old brother. So out of laughs, maybe sometimes I'll be a little bit hard on you because I love you. So I really pray for all of you. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala preserve you, protect you, and protect your families and make your marital relationships successful and happy. And inshallah, as we agreed today, that many of you will get Riyadh al-Salihin, inshallah, and start the study circle. So I hope, inshallah, coming session, feedback. Yes, we started. It is there around the corner in the bookshops, Riyadh al-Salihin. Get your copy. Also there, now you can download it there. It is free. It is there now. If you don't want to spend few pounds, okay, download it. It's there. Till we meet, inshallah, tomorrow actually, inshallah, God willing. I leave you in Allah's company and protection. May Allah preserve you and protect you. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.
Barakallahu fikum, Sheikh Salim. Alaikum assalam wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. And we all love you very much. MashaAllah. My brothers and sisters, it's been an absolute pleasure. It's an honor to be in the Sheikh's presence and have the time he shares with us. Please continue to give us your feedback. Please continue to tell us how we can better serve you guys. We have a donation link for you to support the dawah, make a contribution. We are trying to upscale our equipment, our streaming abilities. We need a few £100 here and there monthly. If you'd like to set up a monthly standing order of £1 a day or something like that, whatever you'd like to give, it'll be a sadaqah jariyah for all of you, inshallah. Yes, I just saw your post about nutmeg spice. Okay, what's wrong with it? I'm gonna have to look it up. I didn't know how to ask the question because I don't know much about cooking or spices, but I do apologize. I couldn't relate it, but I will get some information. I'll relate your question, inshallah. Also, any other questions for how we do things? The Friday night halaqah last night was a pleasure to be here with you guys. The link is available if you want to watch it again. The previous sessions with Sheikh Salim are all uploaded and they're all available for you to catch up if you've joined in a bit late. Sheikh Salim today beautifully said right in the beginning of the lesson that we're still in the beginning of this book. So we're still in the beginning of this book. We're still covering La ilaha illallah. So it's a great time to still sign up. Get your relatives and friends to sign up and tune in. But make sure you register on our website so you are in the WhatsApp group. The YouTube portal we could do Zoom channels like everyone else, and we could do a Zoom course. We just feel it limits it only to the students. We feel that everyone should still get to at least watch, no matter who they are, whether they sign up or not. You should be able to benefit from the knowledge. I don't want anyone missing it, because you never know. As the hadith of the Prophet ﷺ, when they were gathered together, and the Prophet ﷺ said that beautiful hadith about whoever gathers and Allah rewards them and Allah forgives them. One of the companions said, what about so-and-so? This man just joined, happened to be walking by, saw us sitting, joined, listened for a few minutes, got up and left after a little while, didn't stay to the end. And the Prophet ﷺ said for him also. So the mercy of Allah encompasses all things. So if someone just even takes 5 minutes, they click on the YouTube channel, watch a few minutes, take a bit of benefit and leave, great. That's why it was a very difficult decision. A lot of conversations, we decided we would broadcast on YouTube so that everyone benefits. Now it's your job to help us make sure we reach those people. So you have to take the YouTube link, which is youtube.com/alfitrah/live. Or our website, alfitrah.com/live, and share that link with people you know to tune in on Friday nights after 10 p.m., Saturday mornings at 10 a.m., Sunday afternoon at 2 p.m. So, and we'll have other shows in the future coming up as well, inshallah, for kids as well as for sisters classes. Subhanallah, with that, I'm going to leave you guys to it. Please click on thumbs up. Remember, you got to log into YouTube to do that. Don't be lazy. Just register and log into YouTube. Click on thumbs up. I've noticed loads of people, I think roughly about 300 people tuned in today. So about 350 people tuned in, watched, and you're not signed on, so you can't click on thumbs up. You can't support us. And with that, I pray for the one person. There's one person who clicks thumbs down. I think they actually come to the lesson just to click thumbs down every session. It's interesting. I pray Allah guide that person. I really do pray Allah guide you. I'm not mentioning it in a negative way at all. I'm actually mentioning it endearing. I'm actually mentioning it with love. I actually find it is the only way I'm communicating with this person. I don't know who they are. So I pray Allah guide them. And I would pray you make yourself known to us and discuss it with us, unless you just have your device upside down and you think you're clicking thumbs up. I don't know how else to excuse that. May Allah Azza wa Jal bless you all. Fi amanillah. I will see you tomorrow at 2 p.m. inshallah. And please click the link and make a donation. Okay, please click the link and make a donation of any amount. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.